was speaking about. But I was a 12-year-old in the South, which is something totally different. Like, I grew up in a home where, I grew up in a Southern Black Christian home, which, you know, my mom and dad played James Cleveland all the time. And the only, you know, schools in North Carolina public school system, the only black people we learned about was Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, George Washington. It was the 5 black people that we learned about in school. And this is, I mean, this is going all the way up until 7th grade when one of my best friends came to school saying, word to her, word to her, word to her. I'm like, wait, what does that mean, you know? And he went over his house and he played me a Public Enemy record for the first time. And the first record I heard was Terminate the Exit Edge of Panic. And we sat and listened to the whole thing. And you got to think about it. This album came out at the same time. All this happened at the same time. Cosby Show was on the rise. School Days was in the movies. Spike Lee, the whole Spike Lee, you know, whatever. And this is coming right after, you know, like Chuck was talking about, Rappers Delight, everybody's partying, Houdini, everybody's partying. Okay, the party stops now, like 1988. And so, you know, there's no gold chains, it's just the first picture. First was Joe Bum Rush's show. And then the second picture I saw after that was this Chuck and Flav, and right, exactly, behind a jail cell, and the whole Public Enemy insignia. It just, for a 12-year-old to see that, it was crazy. You know, you holler out these names, Huey P. Newton, which, like I said, you never hear these words, these names in the black. Medgar Evers, Huey P. Newton, Carter G. Woodson, all of these people, you never hear these in the black church. Never he's in the black home in the South at all. And for a 12-year-old to hear this with a beat, I think a lot of ways, when it comes to adolescence, by the time you get to the 6th or 7th grade, some people go this way and some people go that way. And I think it was Take a Nation of Me's that made me go this way and made me turn that way.
And there's a lot that's been raised here that I want to touch on as well. You know, firstly, I completely agree. I think that there are a confluence of forces that happen around this time that are very interesting in terms of where we are today, which we'll get to. But, you know, in terms of electing a black president 2 years ago, I think there's no question that you're correct in that Public Enemy had a huge role in that. I think that, you know, I think there was this time, you know, again, we were around the same age. I was 11 or 12 when these records came out, and again, was a predominantly suburban white kid who was obsessed with these records and had the same sort of visceral reactions to them. And in some ways, what was so interesting to me is that at the same time, I think you can also add, you know, Michael Jordan becoming a global brand icon. You get more and more things became sort of more and more into how Cosby Show was the most popular show on TV, white and black. You know, Mike Tyson. So there was this emergence of a lot of different things where black culture was all of a sudden becoming right at the forefront. And Chuck, on the music side, was the, you know, right there on the forefront. The most famous one that did that.
Well, yeah. Well, Brian says there's a difference between those things, and then also have to come at a time of technological spin-offs. I mean, you had a fragmentation of cable coming into existence. They had to fill the spaces with faces. And, you know, it wasn't such a cultural overthrow. It was like, you know what? I mean, how can we just keep perpetuating what we got in normal TV of 4 channels, in some cities 3. You know, we can't do this for 100 channels, even though they've tried. So all these images popping out and finding their way to the forefront came for various different reasons. But, you know, I would say, like, a lot of this is no accident. You have to be aware. One thing we were very aware, and we're aware of to this day, even though you might have an end result or something, every year the game changes. It's like the NFL playbook. You know, Malcolm X said, you know, racism comes out every year like a brand new car, brand new Cadillac. It comes out a new version. So, yes, we have a black president, but what's all the underlying, you know, discrepancies going on now? So, the thing that we've always tried to get across, and it's not us, it's speaking for a lot of the voices that even have the intelligentsia who are shut off because they fucking know too much by society. So we said, you know, we got to come out and speak and point to these figures who are coming out and speaking that they're trying to push under the rug. That was our main purpose, not to be the people at the pulpit, to point to all the people they tried to toss under the rug, the academics, the preachers, the ministers, the organizations, the Panthers, the past, the present, and the damn future. That was our goal as media dispatchers. We wanted to come in, you can see in our first line of notes, because I had to write all the line of notes and put the graphics together. We called ourselves hijackers of the media. We wanted to come in because we come from a radio background, dispatchers of information. Don't believe the hype does not mean don't believe anything. It means to challenge the information which will be coming to you at a flourish. So, you know, that was very important to us to talk to the, in my matter of fact, I've been trying to get your book on my Kindle, but it's you gotta, and so.
Yeah, I don't control that.
Yeah, I know, so we're gonna, you know, but anyway, it's a very important thing to realize that. But as you were saying,
Yeah, there was a difference between those things. Although you're right, black culture had come to a very prominent part of our consciousness. But if you look at The Cosby Show, for example, which people, for some reason people like to laugh when that comes up now. But if you look at The Cosby Show, which was the most popular thing on television, you look at Mike Tyson, who was one of the most interesting things to wait to show up on TV. What was he going to do next? And if you look at, although he was mostly treated like a caged animal, mostly by the media and even his fans, I think. And if you look at, what was the other thing you mentioned?
I was talking about Jordan becoming.
Yeah, Jordan. Look at Jordan. Now, if you take those, okay, you take those three, and you're right. I get your point why you mentioned, but I'd like to add to that. If you look at those three entities, at that time, well, there's no reason to think that politics need to change because, well, look, Cosby's very successful. Tyson's making more money than anybody. Jordan's making more money than everybody.
Michael Jackson, the greatest entertainer.
And Michael Jackson's the greatest entertainer. So why change anything? Those people are doing good.
Oprah's got a talk show.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But here's where you separate Public Enemy.
Yeah.
You look at Public Enemy. Public Enemy was the thing. Public Enemy represented, I think, to a lot of white folks, the thing to be afraid of about black people. The other ones you mentioned were not. You know, because some of the things that Chuck alluded to, some of the things that Griff alluded to, it was like, well, I don't know. So when you get the music and you say you had the visceral response and people listen to it, then you realize, well, shucks, these guys have points, but they're not hating me. They're just saying, well, we're not about people being downtrodden, period. You know, and I get the questions all the time. If you guys go to Gibson, and I like to show people this, when you go to Gibson.com, I did an interview. Those guys threw me a lot of questions, and there's one question that they edited out. And that was that one thing about, well, is Professor Griff anti-Semitic? You know, that keeps popping up. And that's the thing that the media wanted to make everyone afraid of Public Enemy about. Well, if you go after them, then when you come after us, nobody's gonna, you know, they hate everybody. And that's the thing that Chuck has disproved over the years, which is why he's sitting in front of you now. So Public Enemy was the reason politics had to change, not Cosby and all of that.
I agree, and I'd like